One thing I forgot to mention, as you're cutting out these shapes, what I always like to do is once I cut the profile out, I'll cut it out wide enough to where I can take off a thin slab like this. And this gives me my pattern, or a pattern, that I can save and use on another carving. Just drill a hole in it and stick it on a nail somewhere and it'll be there. And if you were in my shop here, I've got patterns laying all over the place that I've collected over the years. I don't use a lot of them, but I use quite a few of them, quite a lot. Okay, so what we're going to do here, this is his left arm. Now, like I say, it's going to be attached to his body, and that's about the area that it will be attached, about like that, okay? So I'm not going to mess with this area in here, right in here. I can carve down here, fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically finish this arm from this point on down, okay? So here we go. And another thing, if you'll notice, the grain on this piece runs not like this, it runs off center, like that, okay? It does not run like that. The reason I did that is it's easier to carve that way. I don't have to worry about carving on a straight grain where it'll chip off. So here we go. Now if you're wondering what these little bumps are here, he's going to have his sleeves rolled up. And this is his shirt coming down underneath the sleeves of his, well, not his shirt, this is his underwear coming down underneath his rolled up shirt. This is just to create more interest in rather than just having there wearing a shirt and nothing else. So here we go. We're just going to quickly give some shape to this piece so we can visualize what's coming. I've given myself plenty of wood to work with. Like I said in the last video, you know, always allow yourself a lot of wood to carve, so just in case you screw up like I generally do, you still got some left over to hide your mistake. So I'll continue doing this, and when you come back, I'll have it fairly well roughed out, okay? As you can see, I've roughed out the lower part of his arm here and the sleeve of his underwear. I've indicated the rolled up portion of his overlaying shirt, and I've kind of knocked off the corners up here. I still haven't really cut into my area where I'm going to join the piece. This is still flat. So if we can hold this up here, you know, we can still see it's starting to come into shape. So now what I'm going to do is first I'm going to indicate a little detail on the underwear here. As you know, on your long johns, generally down towards the end of the sleeve, there's a area that has elastic in it that kind of comes in from the other part of the shirt. So what I want to do is I want to indicate that here. I'll just cut around my line there. So this area down below this line will be a little narrower than that area up above it. There, see, now I've Cut that all the way around. So now what I'll do is I'll come down here and start carving up to that to narrow it down. Gotta get this guy finished this week, because I'm heading up to the Rockies next week. I'm gonna go sleep in a tent in the snow, I hope. I don't know what Judy thinks about that, but okay, you can see what I'm doing here. I think this is enough just for the moment, just to show you. Now we're going to work on the hand. All right, now working on the hand, a lot of people say that carving the hands is difficult. Well, it's not really. If you understand the hand and you look at it in a way a carver or sculptor looks at it. So let's just take a moment here and look at the hand. Well, actually we're doing this hand here, so let's look at this hand. Okay, now he's going to be holding a lariat, so you'll want a hole in the hand right here, just like this one here. See there? How it's got a hole in it? Okay, notice there's a plane, and by plane I mean a flat surface basically on the back of the hand. All right? Then there's another plane right here on the first joint of the fingers, and then there's another plane here on the second joint of the fingers, and then there's a third plane here on the last joint. Okay? See how these planes work? So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if you understand these planes, you can do a hand in any position, because it's just a series of these 1, 2, 3, 4 planes, at least for these fingers. All right, on the thumb. Again, the thumb is a series of planes. You've got 1, 2, and then the back muscle here. Now if I turn my hand over, there are those 4 planes again. See, there are breaks there. So there's the 1, 2, 3. You can give you lines here so you can see that. And the same on the thumb. See, 1, 2. And you've got a big muscle right here. Where'd my show me go? There, see that muscle right there? And see the planes? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It's very simple. And the more you carve hands, the simpler it gets. Now here, I've already indicated a plane on the back of his hand, but I need to indicate that just a little bit more. Bring that down to about there. So let's do that. There. See, now we've carved the first plane of his hand. Haven't curved it or anything, it's just flat. Now, over on the thumb side, looking at the hand from the top, just using with my glove on here, see how the thumb kind of goes straight out and the other part of the hand goes off, and then that hole's in the center? All right, so we're going to draw in our thumb right there. Give ourselves lots of wood. And then we're going to just carve this down in here. See, look, can you see that hand starting to shape up here? I'll take that little knot off of there. See that? Now we've got the thumb up there. We haven't done much to it, but I mean, we're just indicating it now. But you can see the thumb now. All right. Now let's carve in another plane. Okay, the first set of knuckles, so we're going to bend the whole hand down. So starting at that line, there, see? There's plane number one right there. Right there. Now let's go down a little ways, say about right there. And we'll carve plane number two. And remember, when you're doing this, this is not a tight fist. This is a relaxed hand. He's just holding his rope. He's not gripping it. See there? Now that plane up here got a little narrow, so let's make it a little wider. So we got that one. Now let's draw our next one. Right there, let's say. Okay? Now we'll It's getting kind of tricky out here where the thumb is, so you have to be careful. You don't want to cut off the end of your thumb. There, look. Now we've got our planes established. Now we can start, making it more of a, bringing these planes in more to create a more curl of the fingers. There, see there? Just looking more and more like a hand. Now I want to curve this top around because your hand, it's flat, but there is some curve to it. See there? So I'm going to do that a little here. And we have to do that right on down with our other planes. Add a little curve to them too. All right, now it's time to flip the hand over and do a little, first let me make a good chip right here to indicate the top or second plane of the thumb, right there. And I'll even this out just a bit. There, see? Now, with that chip taken there, that's given me the lines of the creases on the thumb, okay? So knowing that, I can bring these in like that. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is draw the ball of this thumb, because that's a pretty prominent muscle. So I'm just going to draw that right in here like that. Okay, so now you can see that thumb. It's very rough, but I mean you can see it. And we're going to draw the ends of the fingers. Just like that. So what we're doing now, is we've got a big pocket of waste in here that we have to get rid of. But first, I'm going to just indicate this thumb a little more here. So you can see it. And as you're doing these areas in here, always keep your knife at a slope, because you don't want to carve straight in. Your muscles are rounded. Now this is a weak area right here because we've got that grain going this way, so if you're not careful you might chip that off, so be careful up in there. There. Here, let me take this off. Okay, now the next step is we want to start our hole. So I'm just going to draw a straight line across here, and then we're going to take this chip out right there. Start. This is just the start. Pencil on there so you can see it a little better. There. See there? Now what we have to do is carve through to that opening. And to do that, I'll probably have to switch knives here, because I want one that I can get in there and turn. There we go. There, see, I've carved through to it now. Okay? So just remembering the planes of the hand makes what you might think a difficult job really quite easy. And you can see he's starting to look pretty good there. And see, the hand looks relaxed, which is the effect that we're after.